Namaste students, I am JV Dr. Minakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Chanakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University. Today the topic of discussion is CSOM. What is CSOM? It is the chronic suppurative otitis media. It is a long-lasting infection of a part or whole of the middle ear cleft, characterized by continuous or intermittent discharge through a persistent tympanic membrane perforation. And talking about the epidemiology, the incidence is higher in developing countries. It affects both sexes and all age groups. Most important cause of hearing impairment is rural population. Then comes the types of CSM. Clinically, if we discuss, we can divide the CSM into two types. First one is tubotympanic, second one is aticoantral. What is tubotympanic CSM? It involves the anteroinferior part of middle ear cleft, that is eustachian tube, mesotympanum, and is associated with a central perforation. Okay. Tubotympanic CSM is safe and benign type. There is no risk of serious complications. In the aticoantral CSM, it involves the posterior superior part of the cleft, that is attic, antrum, and mastoid. The aticoantral CSM is associated with an attic or marginal perforation. It is often associated with bone eroding process such as cholesteatoma, granulations, or osteotitis. In aticoantral CSM, there is risk of complications is very high, and it is unsafe or dangerous type of CSM. There are very various properties of two types of CSM. The discharge of tubotympanic CSM is profuse, mucoid, odorless. We can differentiate the discharge of aticoantral from the tubotympanic CSM, as the discharge in aticoantral is scanty, purulent, foul-smelling. The perforation on the both type of CSM is very different. In tubotympanic, the perforation is central, whereas in aticoantral CSM, the perforation is marginal. If we discuss about the granulations, it is very uncommon in tubotympanic CSM and common in aticoantral CSM. The polyp in tubotympanic CSM is pale, and the polyp in the aticoantral CSM is red and fleshy. Cholesteatoma is absent in tubotympanic CSM. It is present in aticoantral CSM. If we discuss about the complications of CSM, it is very rare in tubotympanic type of CSM and common in aticoantral CSM. If we discuss about the audiogram, it is mild to moderate conductive deafness in tubotympanic CSM, and there is conductive or mixed deafness in aticoantral CSM. In the tubotympanic CSM, the cause, the disease starts in the children and is common in that age group. There is sequel of acute otitis or ascending infections via eustachian tube, or there can be allergy to ingestants. The disease starts in the childhood. The sequel of otitis media usually follows the exanthematous fever and leaving behind a large central perforation. The set infections via eustachian tube causes persistent and recurring otorrhea. The allergy to ingestants like milk and egg causes persistent mucoid otorrhea. The pathological changes in tubotympanic CSM, there is perforation of pars tensa into the central perforation, and size and position varies. The middle ear mucosa, the disease is quiescent or inactive, there is normal mucosa. Disease active, then there is edematous and velvety mucosa. The polyp in the tubotympanic CSM is pale to pink. The ossicular chain in tubotympanic CSM is intact, mobile, but shows some degree of necrosis, especially in the long process of incus. The tympanosclerosis, there the what is tympanosclerosis? It is the hyalinization and subsequent calcification of subepithelial connective tissue. It causes the protective deafness. It can be fibrosis and adhesions. These are the result of healing process which impair the mobility of vascular chain. They block the eustachian tube. Then comes the bacteriology of tubotympanic CSOM. The pus culture in both aerobic and anaerobic types of CSM show multiple organisms. The aerobes are like Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Proteus, E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus. Anaerobes are Bacteroides, Flagellae, and anaerobic Streptococci. There is an alternate classification of chronic otitis media, chronic otitis media can be of two types: mucosal disease or squamosal disease. In the mucosal disease, there is active chronic suppurative otitis media or inactive, that is permanent perforation. Third one is healed, yeah, adhesive otitis media. In the second type of squamous otitis media, that is squamous disease, there is a retraction pockets in pars tensa or pars flaccida, or also called the atelactic ear. The second one is active or cholesteatoma with discharge. If you differentiate between the tubotympanic CSM, aticoantral CSM, tubotympanic is the mucosal disease with no evidence of invasion of squamous epithelium. In aticoantral CSM, there is squamous disease of middle ear. In tubotympanic CSM, the active perforation of pars tensa with inflammation of mucosa and mucopollulant discharge. Aticoantral, if it is active, there is presence of cholesteatoma in posterior superior parts of pars tensa and pars flaccida. Erodes bone, form granulation tissue, has purulent offensive discharge. In inactive tubotympanic membrane, permanent perforation of pars tensa, but middle ear mucosa isn't inflamed and there is no discharge. In inactive type of aticoantral CSM, there is retraction is pars tensa, pars flaccida, but there is no discharge. Tubotympanic membrane, it is healed. Tympanic membrane is healed by two layers, which becomes atrophic, easily retracted if negative pressure is there in the middle ear. Then comes the clinical features of the CSOM. There is ear discharge, which can be non-offensive, mucoid, or mucopurulent, constant, or intermittent, appears at the time of upper respiratory tract infections or on accidental entry of water into the ear. Then the patient will have the hearing loss, which is basically of conductive type, rarely exceeds the 50 decibel. There will be perforation. Perforation will be always central, maybe anterior or posterior or inferior to the handle of malleus. The perforation of tympanic membrane can be small, medium, or large in size. The middle ear mucosa is seen when perforation is large, though normally it is pale pink and moist, inflamed, red, edematous. Occasionally polyp is seen in the middle ear. There are a few pictures of the different perforations: central perforation, anteriorly, central perforation medium size, subtotal perforation, total perforation with destruction of even the fibrous annulus. Then apical perforation, there is posterior superior marginal perforation. Which are the investigations we should do in case of CSOM? Examination is done under microscope. Second, audiogram is done. Third, culture and sensitivity of the ear discharge to find out the organism so that the particular antibiotic can be given. Mastoid X-ray, CT scan, temporal bone should be done. Then comes the treatment part of CSM. First one is oral toilet. These are discussing about the tubotympanic CSM basically. The oral toileting should be done dry mopping with the absorbent common cotton buds, section clearance under microscope, irrigation with sterile normal saline. Then eardrops should be instilled. Antibiotic eardrops containing neomycin, polymyxin, or gentamicin are used often combined with steroids. Systemic antibiotics should be given in case of acute exacerbation. Precautions should be done, like keep water out of ear during bathing. Rubber inserts should be used. Hard nose blowing should be avoided. Last one is the surgical treatment and reconstructive surgery. Then we should discuss about the second type of CSM, that is the atiquantral CSM. It is mainly seen in the sclerotic mastoid or cholesteatoma. We should discuss about the pathology. It is associated with the following pathological processes like cholesteatoma. Cholesteatoma means the skin in the wrong place. It is the presence of keratinized squamous epithelium in the middle ear or mastoid. Then there is osteitis, or granulation tissue, involves the outer attic wall and posterior superior margin of tympanic ring. The ossicular necrosis is present. In case of atiquantral CSM, there will be hearing loss. Cholesterol granuloma will be seen mass of granulation tissue with foreign body giant cells surrounding the cholesterol crystals. Symptoms of atiquantral CSM: there will be ear discharge, which can be scanty but foul smelling due to bone destruction. It will be purulent. In atiquantral CSM, patient will suffer from hearing loss. Hearing is normal when ocular chain are intact or when cholesteatoma is there. Conductive or mixed deafness are seen. Bleeding from the granulation of polyp may be present. Signs of atiquantral CSM: there will be perforation. Perforation can be attic or posterior superior marginal type. There will be retraction pockets. A retraction pocket is an invagination of tympanic membrane, which is seen in attic or posterior superior area of pars tension. The stages of atiquantral CSM: the stage, basically 4 stages. The stage 1 is tympanic membrane is retracted but does not contact incus. There will be mild retraction. In stage 2, there will be tympanic membrane is retracted deep and it contacts the incus. The middle ear mucosa isn't affected. In stage 3, the middle ear atelectasis. The middle ear comes to lie on promontory and ossicles. In stage 4, that is adhesive otitis media, tympanic membrane is very thin, wraps promontory and ossicles. No middle ear space is there. Mucosal lining of the middle ear is absent. Retraction pockets are formed. Erosion of long process of incus tips. Superstructure. Cholesteatoma: the pearly white flakes of cholesteatoma can be sunken from retraction pockets. Then comes the investigations of the atiquantral CSM. Examinations under microscope should be done. Tuning fork test and audiogram are done to see the deafness. X-ray, mastoids, and CT scan of temporal bone are done. Culture and sensitivity of ear discharge should be done. Then come the features indicating complications in CSM. There will be pain, vertigo, persistent headache, facial weakness, listless, child refusing to take feeds and easily going to sleep, fever, nausea, vomiting, irritability and neck rigidity, diplopia, ataxia, abscess around ear. Then comes the treatment part. There's a surgical treatment, which is a mainstay treatment. The primary aim of the surgery of CSM is to remove the disease and render the ear safe. The second aim is to preserve or reconstruct the hearing. The two types of surgicals are done to deal with the cholesteatoma. First one is a canal wall down procedure. Second is a canal wall up procedure. These are the differential features of both the procedures, how they are different. Then there is reconstructive surgery. Last one is the conservative treatment. Okay? Here completes our CSM.